Well, hello and welcome to the Bumper to Bumper podcast. I'm Dave Riccio, co-creator of Bumper to Bumper Radio and your host of the Bumper to Bumper podcast. John Riggle's off today, but I've got Tyler Turdo. Am I saying that right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, with Dynamic Tint. And we're normally talking about water pumps and check engine lights and all that kind of stuff. But the biggest part of the car, in my mind, is how it looks. You know, you want to look good. And that is your department. And essentially, you guys do tint, paint protection film, PPF, and then you do ceramic coating. Am I missing anything?
No, that's the gist of it, yeah.
Okay, so I bought a 2023 Tacoma, and it's the first vehicle I've ever done paint protection film on. And so I don't know that most people know what paint protection film even is. So,
No, yeah, it's been around for a while,
okay,
but it's something that you have to educate people on.
okay.
Because in Arizona, we have tons of rocks,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear them hit your windshield constantly.
Yes,
So imagine what it's doing to the front end of your paint.
yes. Oh, every car you see it after, even when you buy it, a year later, you look at it, it's just kind of pockmarked all over the front of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So paint protection film is, so I new Toyota Tacoma. I take it to you. You put the film on it. Can't see it. Don't even know it's there. And we did all the way back, the whole hood, A-pillars, all that stuff. I don't even know it's there, but it does feel pretty good to know it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see it when you're driving on the freeway and stuff like that. You feel confident that you don't have to worry too much about behind the big trucks and stuff like that.
Now, you've been doing this for a lot of years, and you were kind of at the forefront of paint protection film, really, because it's a lot of people still don't know what it is, and I was fairly new to me, but someone's like, oh, dude, you got to PPF that. What's PPF? Here I am in the car business. I don't even have any idea what it is.
Yeah, and that's where the education comes in. I mean, we're more protection specialists. If you look at everything, the window tint's going to cool your car, keep your skin safe. The PPF is going to give you the shield, and then the ceramic coating gives you the UV protection, and it keeps the car easy to wash and maintain.
Do you have to have a new car to do PPF?
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we do a lot of older cars as well, because what one person values in a car, they want to keep it nice.
Yeah.
So we can still do that. And we do touch-up specialist stuff like that as well.
Well, I roll up to your place, and you guys have got really nice cars out there. You've got a really nice Porsche, for instance, or whatever the brand. It's something really nice, and I pull up in my Tacoma. I'm like, hey, am I cool here? But but I saw a lot of F-150s in your bay. I saw all kinds of cars in your bay. So every car is good for PPF.
Absolutely. And that's the biggest thing, is that it does sometimes detour people. And then you got to show them, like, hey, we do everything.
Right.
We do Nissan Rogues. We do tons of Toyotas, actually, because we got a big Toyota community around here.
Yeah.
So it's whatever someone wants to protect is that we can do.
Well, the other thing that I utilized you for, and I didn't know was a thing, and this is the thing, I'm out of the loop. I shouldn't be. But someone's like, well, you should just tint your windshield. I'm like, tint my windshield? What is that? I'm thinking of dark tint. And tinting the windshield, it doesn't hardly seem right, and it even sounds illegal.
Absolutely. And I mean, the downfall is people associate tint with dark.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, our normal tint, it was the darker you went, the cooler your car felt, the more you were protected from the sun. Now with ceramic-based films, we're going to give you protection.
Okay.
UVA, UVB, and it's going to keep the infrared heat out. And you don't have to worry about going dark. I can tell you we have tons of people that we do a clear tint on their vehicle, or just light shades. For example, the windshield.
Mm-hmm.
90% of windshields that if we tint them, it's a clear shade. It's a 70% film. We're not altering the view of the windshield. We're just reducing the heat and the UV from coming through.
Well, what I like about it, back in the old days, you had that strip right at the top of the windshield.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to do something, and it probably did back in the day. But it's nothing like today's tint for sure. But in my car, you go, you park at the grocery store, you put the window visor up so your car doesn't get hot.
Correct.
But that, now I've got the cell phone thing that sticks to my windshield. It's not exactly convenient. So with the window tint that you guys did for me, and you can't even see it, it does, if I drive my truck without sunglasses on, it does take the edge off. I don't have to have sunglasses on the same. It's just tuned down a little bit. but I'll leave my car in the sun and I come back out to it without that visor and it's not baking hot. It really made a huge difference for that. What I like about that, because I'm in the auto repair side of things, is that I think of all the electronics in the dashboard. And when your car's in the sun, that dashboard is cooking. You know?
Absolutely.
So that's a huge part of it, and why I like the tint as far as that goes. So you guys do window tinting. You've got your window in your car tinted, I would
Absolutely.
imagine. Okay.
Yep.
Do you make everybody you know tint their window?
Pretty much. Everybody's coming to us if they know us.
Well, you're from Southern California, so I remember California when I was a kid. My family would drive out there, and our windows were tinted from Arizona,
Mhm.
and you would get pulled over for that. It was a big deal there.
Huge in California. I mean, still to today, when we talk to customers and, if they travel back and forth a lot, we see tickets on I-8, I-10. But out there, that's what's good for them. You have that possibility of doing light shades now.
Okay.
Because back then you put a dark window tint on, you're getting a ticket in California. It's something that they'll pull you over for.
Has anyone been pulled over for tint on the windshield that you know of, like here with the tints that you do?
So we don't really allow people to go dark.
Okay.
That's just something we don't believe in at my shop.
Right.
So we're going to usually do a 70% or like a 55, which 55 is like wearing a light shade of sunglasses while you're driving.
Sure.
But still leaves you plenty of visibility at night. So we don't see very often tickets.
Okay.
And in Arizona, we do a lot of cars for, the cops and stuff like that too. So they understand it's hot out here.
Yeah, it is.
And as long as your car's not completely blacked out and you're staying within a safe legal limit.
Right. I feel like it made all the difference in the world. Plus, the car's just more comfortable to drive, going down the road. Because that's the hugest piece of glass. Even when I park, I always kind of aim the car so it's not directly into the sun. But
Yeah.
driving down I-10, you're driving right into the sun, so you can't put your big old window shade up then. But the car's just more comfortable.
Absolutely. You don't feel the heat radiating in. You don't feel it on your hand when it's up on the steering wheel. And that's where it does help a ton. Especially, we have a gentleman coming in actually today.
Okay.
He has some sort of condition that he does have a doctor's note. And we're going to do his car on the darker side because he has to wear a jacket during the day.
Really?
So the nice thing is, too, all of our films that we use, they're Skin Cancer Foundation approved.
When you did my windshield, it was cool. You had that display with the hot light behind it.
Yep.
And you could flip, and I could see the difference between the different levels of tint, I guess, would be what that was. And you say, hey, this one is this one is that. But our sun is just blazing. So we've got rock chips, paint protection film.
Yep.
Then we've got the blazing sun. So we've got tint, but the blazing sun is hard on the paint.
Exactly.
So you guys beyond that, and you kind of started out, sounds like in the tint business, but the business has just progressed in all the years you've been doing it. And now you guys do ceramic coating and detail. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So we were kind of forced into detail.
Okay.
When customers come in, they want a protection package all in one that everybody does. And it's something I really enjoy now too, because you get to see the end result and we can make the cars look better than when they came off the showroom floor. So after you've done kind of, all the decontamination part, which is like a clay bar, paint correction. So we're going to go through and polish the whole car because before you apply the ceramic coating, you want that paint in perfect condition or near perfect condition.
Right.
Depending upon the year of the vehicle, which those we do a lot older vehicles of all the time. People want to restore we have a 2015 Mustang in right now that they want to look almost as new as possible.
Right.
So something like that, after we've restored the paint, we put the ceramic coating, which is a liquid layer that goes over the glass, the wheels, the windows, the calipers, all the paint and trim surfaces. And think about how bad, too, all your plastics go on your vehicle here from the UV.
Mm-hmm.
Our ceramic coating makes it look 100 times better if they're already gone. But for your new stuff, it's going to keep them looking good as well and give it UV protection.
How long has ceramic coating been a thing?
It's actually been a thing for a while.
Okay.
I would say, don't quote me on this because I don't know all the later facts, but I think it's been around like early 2000s, if not a little bit before that. And it really just got popular near COVID.
Okay.
A lot of our products did.
Well, having you do my Tacoma, I feel better about it. But, Yeah, it's ceramic coating. I think most people, for me again, it was like, oh, that's a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I didn't really know about it, but I'm like, yeah, it's a new truck. I love it, And so I'm gonna do it. But I got ceramic coating, tint on the windshield. I got the paint protection film, PPF for short.
Yeah.
So when people are saying, "Oh, I get PPF on that," I'm like, "What is that?"
Or they even used to call it clear bra
Oh yeah,
back in
yeah,
the day.
yep,
But that had a bad name because then you'd see all of it go bad over the time.
yeah. Clear bra. I drive a Mini Cooper, is like my little extra thing, and it's got a clear bra on it, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, not what I have on my Tacoma, that's for sure.
So just like tints evolved, paint protections evolved. And they came out with a better top coat layer, which now has, you see the little scratch test where
Hmm.
it self heals in the sun, which Arizona, we got plenty of it.
Yeah.
So you get little micro scratches, swirls. You put your vehicle out in the sun, those slowly go away and your vehicle looks nice and glossy again.
So for someone, maybe they just bought a new car, because I think that's probably gonna be the most common. They're like, new car, they're excited about it, they want to keep it nice. When you get a new car, you don't park right up by the door at the grocery store. I mean, you
Correct.
park on the other end of the parking lot because you don't want to scratch in that new car. And so they got that new car. They're thinking about, maybe they don't think about that when they buy it, but then they get it. They're like, oh, and they get a steering wheel. They do things to it,
Yeah.
like custom floor mats or something. And people like to customize. They don't like to look like everybody else. I certainly don't. And so paint protection film also can be colored.
Absolutely.
Okay. Tell me about that.
So colored PPFs, those actually came out recently within
Okay.
like the past year and a half. But it has the same qualities as the paint protection film that it self heals, has a longer warranty. So if you
Mm-hmm.
think about vinyl wrapping your car, you can change the color.
Mm-hmm.
Usually in Arizona, you get no warranty with it, and it goes
Oh, yeah.
bad quick.
Quick.
It looks nasty. It's really hard. You almost ruin the paint taking it off.
Yeah, I wrecked a shop truck that way. Did a wrap on it and everything, and kind of let it go a little too long, and I literally sold the vehicle. I'm like, I can't even fix this.
Yeah, no, it's a nightmare to take off. So we've done a lot of the colored paint protections. Like we have one customer that every time he gets a new truck, he loves that black roof. So he
Mm-hmm.
has that white truck with a gloss black roof, but doesn't want to paint it. So we go through and we put the colored PPF on, and it's going to last longer because that's directly facing up towards the sun.
Yeah.
Those are the worst panels, your hood and your roof. Those usually goes bad first with vinyl wrap. So with it having a protective layer, the paint protection, that's going to give it a 7 to 10 year warranty depending upon what manufacturer we use.
Wow. So you can really change the look, feel, style of your vehicle, so you don't have to look like. And that's the other problem too. I got a white Toyota Tacoma, right?
Yep.
And when I bought it, I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I looked around, everybody's got a white Toyota Tacoma. I'm like, man, I look like everybody else, you
Yeah.
know? And sometimes I like to blend in, but I like to have my own thing too. And back in the, you said you did some off-road stuff back in the day.
Yep.
Every time I bought a vehicle, the first thing I did was lift it.
Oh, absolutely. You want to customize it to how you like it, make it look a little different. And I'd say, our biggest customer base has been Tesla.
Okay.
You look at a white Tesla, they're
Mhm.
everywhere. They look
Yes.
the exact same.
Uh-huh.
So a customer brings it to us and they already want the paint protection on the front end
Yes.
because they don't want it to get chipped and beat up. Well, now we can do like their little A pillars going back or black their mirrors out, customize it to something that looks unique to them.
Well, that's super cool. What for you is the most exciting part of your business?
The customer.
Yeah?
I love the customer. I love customer interaction.
Yeah.
Especially when, we're showing a customer something. Like I say, you have to touch it, feel it. That's what the box is
Uh-huh.
great for. I can tell you, oh, this tint does 10% more heat reduction, but until you actually feel it,
Yeah.
it's a better product.
Right.
Until you see paint protection actually work, then it does its job. And when customers pick their cars up, that's what a lot of my guys in my shop, we're all passionate about what we do.
Yeah, I felt it when I was there.
So when you pick your car up and you're excited about it, every one of us feed off of that.
Yeah. It does feel good. I do auto repair, so it's less sexy, if you will. Sometimes it's a transmission and it's really expensive. And still though, I get people that come in and they're just happy that they met someone who's passionate and did a great job on their car. And that does feel good for me. I would imagine in yours, sometimes I say people would rather have $2,000 set of like new wheels on their car because they can see it
Yep.
versus a repair to their car that costs $2,000. And so I would think yours would be a little sexier and people would like that more. But, in my business too, we get people come in and they're just grateful that they
Yeah.
have someone that can do what they want to, fix their car and all that stuff. So I think I would agree with you on the customer interaction. Tell me about your crew. Do you like working with your guys or?
Love my guys. Have my guys around for a long time.
Okay.
My tinters have been with me since almost day one. We were friends before that because before owning the shop, I've been in the industry for a while. These guys actually helped train me,
Okay.
which is funny. So,
Yeah.
and now they're with me, and we have a solid group of guys. Which in our industry, the craft is a big deal.
Right.
So that's how we hold our standards and quality, and kind of go around and double check, and we kind of hold each other accountable. Like
Yeah.
one guy will be like, "Hey, man, we should really change that, or we should do something a little different."
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that's the biggest key to our shop, holding its values and making the customer feel comfortable too. When they come in, you don't have a guy that's like upset to do his job.
Yeah.
Like every one of us really care at the end of the day how well it comes out, because we compare ourselves to everybody else too at the same time.
I've been to your shop and you guys just did an expansion.
Yes.
So I've been watching your stuff on Instagram. I'm like, because I saw it when it was nothing, right? And I'm watching it, that new space you've got transition. That's super cool. So, it's definitely not a fly by night organization. I mean, you've built quite a business over there. It's impressive, to go over there and see what you guys do and see the activity. And so just walking through when you guys are working on trucks, this guy's doing ceramic coating over here. This guy's doing the PPF over here.
Yeah. And that's, I've always played it safe.
Mm-hmm.
So we've evolved a little bit slower than a lot of people,
Right.
but we want everything to come out the right way.
Right.
That starts with putting the right people in place. And then when we started really cramming that area, and then when spots came available right next to us, it made more sense to take over them.
Yeah.
And expand the shop and give us a dedicated clean room for detailing. Because when you're buffing a car, you can't be tinting a car right next to it, or else all that compound is going to give you a bad, dirty tint job.
Right.
But now it really helps our process and flow as well, because we have someone who's dedicated to detailing and prepping the cars for us to paint protect them.
Okay.
And then we have someone who's grabbing the car afterwards that's been tinted to clean it. So it has a better flow and process, which in the end gives a better result for the customers.
Well, I like that. You say, hey, we haven't grown as fast as everybody else. But it's like you can grow like a turtle or grow like a frog.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's a flash in a pan when you grow too fast, because all of a sudden you're like, and then that's where you see businesses are a little bit fly by night, because it does take a long time to build a good crew. It does take a long time to build a process that really works and really turns out a consistent product. And so you guys are like at the highest end. I mean, stuff is super clean, and I'm impressed when I walk in there, and I'm like, this is. I refer everybody there, especially when they get a new car, because I'm like, you gonna PPF that? I'm like, what's PPF?
Yeah, and that's our biggest way of business. We make someone happy, and then they tell everyone about it.
Right.
They have a great experience. They come in, they see the shop's clean. That's the biggest thing in our industry. You see people posting on Instagram. You look at their posts and you're like, man, their floors are dirty. And our guys know, like, I'm like, hey, we got to clean the floors once or twice a week. We got to make sure this place looks clean,
right,
and is clean, because that makes our jobs come out better.
Oh yeah, just the look and feel and the pride in it and stuff like that. So I think that's why I like you, because you just been through my shop. What'd you think?
I loved it.
For an auto repair shop.
And what's cool is like seeing the different types of businesses, and you have to appreciate all the different processes. Like when you come through and you guys have the organized meetings, and you can see how everything has its bins for the transmissions, and it's a total different world than what we deal with.
Well, I certainly have an OCD problem. So it's the kind of stuff that keeps me up at night. I'm like, oh, we could do this, we could do that. So I lay around and think about what I could do to make it more, just to fit my OCD. And in my business OCD, I would imagine with you too, you have probably a high level of OCD.
Oh, yeah.
You just want everything a certain way, and if it's not, it's uncomfortable as heck. So it continually forces you to improve and hone, and how could we do that better? And even a job that someone thinks is perfect, you're like, oh, I could have done a little better this way or that way,
Correct.
or I could have made the process flow a little better this way. So it's a constant, I think there's a term out there called Kaizen, and
Yep.
that's constant incremental improvements. And so every day is that constant improvement. So growth is good. Too much too fast is not necessarily good. So, but I can see it when I go over there. I can see your processes. I'm like, yeah, this guy does business the way I like, and you can feel good about it, and you've got happy customers and people that are excited to tell people about your business. And it's fun to have someone good to refer somebody to.
Oh, absolutely.
And I get people all the time because I'm in the car business.
Yep.
People know me from the radio show, people know me from the podcast, and they call up. They say, "Hey, where should I go for this?" Well, go see my friend Tyler.
Yeah,
He'll
absolutely.
take care of you. Is there anything you would like to leave people with about your business, about PPF, anything like that?
I'd say the biggest thing is that, the difference there's a lot of companies that do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Protection products got very popular in around COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's when you're choosing someone, you just got to see that they care.
Right.
And that's the biggest difference between us because we're all putting clear films on, we're putting tint on. And the reason they come out good is because of the people behind it putting it on.
Mm-hmm.
We use all expel products.
Okay.
I would say us using the best products is just a benefit of what we do because you can see the difference between a bad install and a good install.
Right. Yeah, you can probably pick it up from a block or more away. You're like,
Oh,
oh, man,
absolutely.
see what they did over there? Oh, that's terrible. Or that's a nice one. I really
Yeah.
like how that one came out. So, all right. So the quality of the people doing it, the quality of the product. I mean, that's the difference because it's not necessarily inexpensive to PPF a whole vehicle.
Not at all.
So it costs, but if you're going to do it, you want to do it right.
Correct. And there's a lot more involved
mm-hmm.
than just PPF in a whole vehicle.
Okay.
We've almost learned to be mechanics as well. And we have the right resources to know how to pull your taillights out so we get a little extra film to cover there or pop the bed rails off. We have like the right people in place to either call to do that or get the diagrams, as you can get to pull parts off of vehicles. And we try to go the extra mile and wrap as much as possible so you don't see the film.
Right. Well, that's the difference right there. So I'm super grateful to have you on. I've been looking forward to doing this for a while. I'm glad we finally got to do it, but we are both small business owners, so we are busy as can be, and so even finding a breathing moment to do that. So I'm glad to have you. To learn more on our website, bumper-to-bumper-radio-podcast.com, you can certainly find Dynamic Tint. They're down the street from us here in Tempe. We're right next to Tempe Marketplace, and I guess that means you're right next to Tempe Marketplace as well.
Yeah.
So easy to remember how to find us. If you're going to spend money getting some paint protection film or your front windshield tinted or anything, ceramic coat, be sure to see these guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Well, hello, I'm Dave Riccio, your host of the Bumper to Bumper podcast, and I would like to thank you for tuning in. If you want one of your car questions to be answered on our podcast, tap the link in the description for a chance to have your question featured. And while you are there, we would love for you to like and subscribe to see more Bumper to Bumper podcasts in the future.